Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time joining me, I am Kelly, and I'm the car mom. Today, we are talking about a highly requested topic, and that is lemons. And if you don't know what a lemon is, it is not just a tangy fruit. It is also what we call a car that has a lot of problems. Now, I feel like, so anyway, I'm so excited because I'm talking a little bit out of my wheelhouse. I am more involved in like the purchasing and the selling of cars. I've heard of lemons happening to some people, but we were so excited to find Michelle because she actually has her own law firm, West Coast Lemons, and she is a expert in all things lemon law. So Michelle, I would love for you to introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about you, and then we are going to grill her on everything that I'm curious about, everything that Elizabeth's curious about, all the things.
Amazing. Thank you so much, first of all, for having me. I'm a big fan of you. I feel like the social media game has, allowed us to find kindred spirits. So I'm very happy we were able to find each other. So my name is Michelle Fonseca-Kamana. I'm a California lemon law attorney, and that's all I handle. So cars, trucks, RVs, it is my one specialty. So I know a lot about one thing, and that is lemon law. So I'm excited to share with you guys some knowledge about what I know.
Awesome. So let's dive right in. What is a lemon? First of all, where did we get the name lemon? Is there like a fun story behind it? And then what is exactly a lemon?
So I actually Googled this the other day, funny enough. But I want to say it's been a while since I Googled it, but I think it was an old British term to where they used to call, things that were defective lemons. And then we brought it over here to the States, and then it just kind of stuck. So funny enough, I live in Orange County in California. And so there's a dealership called Toyota of Orange, and they've taken the play on lemons and oranges, and they have a fun little jingle that's like, oh, you won't get a lemon at Toyota of Orange. And it's my dream to sing the closing argument one day, but we'll get to that one day.
I can't believe that like they took like a nickname and then like made it official. They're like, no, you know what? Let's keep it that way. We are going to call it a lemon. It's just so funny. Yeah. So tell us a little bit, define lemon for us.
So a lemon is a vehicle that cannot be repaired to match the manufacturer's warranty after a reasonable number of repair attempts. So typically we see this with cars and trucks. That's probably what I'm going to talk about most today. But each state has its own lemon law, but there's also a federal lemon law that kind of comes in and helps some of the states that might not have very strong protections. So I'll be able to get into California law specifically and a lot of the federal law that's going to encompass, consumers all over the states.
So I think that because I feel like people throw the term lemon around kind of loosely sometimes. So it's not just you buy a new car, something crazy goes wrong, they have to repair it, you don't have a lemon. It would be like if things continually go wrong over and over and over again, whether that be the same thing or different things.
Yes. So the most popular way, I guess, to build a lemon law case is the multiple repair attempts for the same or similar issue. So I studied a lot of, at least in California, usually you want to get to about 4 repair visits for the same issue and still have it be unrepaired. And in looking at other states' lemon laws, it's usually around that time frame as well. You want 4 repair visits or 30 days. To repair it. So you have to give them a chance to repair it. The law doesn't say, okay, manufacturers, you have to build a 100% perfect product every time. Otherwise, you have to give them their money back. The standard's just not that high. And the other thing is, it's not just any old defect, It's not just, that clicking noise you might hear when you turn left that happens, every other time. It has to be something substantial. So across the board, most states have a criteria that it has to substantially impair the use, value, or safety of your vehicle. So that's your transmission issues, your engine issues, check engine lights. Major components have to be failing for you to be able to prove you have a lemon.
This is so interesting. Liz, isn't this interesting?
It's crazy. Like I never even thought about this before.
So I want to know.
So
you go, Liz.
I gonna ask, so if you think you have a lemon, in order to get everything fixed, or like what is the goal if you have a lemon? Is the goal for the dealership, for the manufacturer to give you a new car? Like, what is the end goal if you think you have a lemon?
So the end goal is a repurchase or a replacement. Those are the top two things. If you've got a weaker lemon law case, you can also do a cash and keep. So I'll get into each of the three. So the buyback is a return of your down payment, your payments, your loan is paid off. They'll also reimburse you for reasonable rental, towing, and repair costs, but there are some deductions. So in California, you only have to pay for the trouble-free miles. So that's mileage at the time of purchase and delivery, and mileage at the time of the first time you take it into the dealership. So that's why those repair orders are like gold with lemon law cases, because we need those numbers and that proof that you did take it in for that issue to be able to do all of those calculations. You also don't get all of those fun things you add to your financing at purchase. So a lot of your service contracts, gap insurance, theft deterrence, those aren't going to be reimbursable for the most part, especially in California. They're not reimbursable, but you can get prorated refunds if you do cancel those. So there is a little bit of a workaround there. But as far as what the manufacturer has to pay you, it's pretty close to what you put into the car. But if you have issues coming up later in the car's life, those mileage offsets can be, $12,000, $15,000, $17,000. And, it's significant.
So when we're talking about lemons, we're talking about new cars, right? There's no like used car lemons.
So that depends on the state. So California, and actually a lot of the states have this. As long as it's still under the manufacturer's warranty, you can build a lemon law case. So,
Gotcha.
Gotcha. At least if you've got a used car, talk to a lemon law just to see.
And just curious, is that the new car warranty? Is that like the powertrain warranty, like the basic warranty? So if I'm thinking like Ford, for example, they only have a 3 or 36,000 mile basic warranty. Is it that warranty or is it a powertrain warranty?
It's both of them. So it just depends on what components are going to fall under them.
Makes sense.
Basic and powertrain, they both qualify for lemon law purchases. As long as they're covered by one of those, you're good to go.
But one thing I'm really passionate about is kind of like breaking down the fourth wall between consumer and dealerships. So I mean, not that I want to say like, oh, it's not our fault, but like, I mean, for the most part in lemon law cases, it's not the fault of the dealership who sold you the car. It really, if anyone's at fault, is the manufacturer. And if you win your lemon law case, like Suntra Volkswagen's not paying you back, Volkswagen's paying you back, correct? Generally,
but dealerships can also be on the hook, at least in California, for lemon law cases as well. So when they're selling,
tell us why.
So it's called the implied warranty of merchantability. So when they are selling a vehicle, it has this warranty by law that, there's a minimum standard of quality there. So especially if you're buying a car from a dealership and then the engine blows out a month later, something went wrong there. They do also have to go through their checks, especially with these certified pre-owned cars. We see a lot of, missteps where they're just, checking off all the boxes and they're not really doing their due diligence, especially COVID. I'm seeing a lot of certified pre-owns that honestly, it's more of a dealership issue than a manufacturer issue.
Okay. That's super interesting. It's nice to know that it could be either one. So that being said, how common are lemons?
They're pretty common. I mean, luckily I've been able to make a business out of it. But it's kind of a numbers game, not all of them are going to come out of production 100%. And honestly, the more technology we keep putting into the vehicle, there's going to be a learning curve there. So I see a lot of issues with newer model year vehicles while they kind of work out the kinks. And, there's just certain manufacturers where I get those calls and I know, okay, are you having transmission issues? And 9 out of 10 times it is. So
you're like, all right, yep, I know what I'm doing.
Exactly. You're not alone.
So speaking of that, I mean, as someone who has such experience in this field, why does someone need a lemon lawyer? Do they need a lemon lawyer, or is it something they can do on their own?
So it's a little bit of both. So the way I actually handle my cases is I try to coach my clients through handling it on their own, because they're going to get a faster response from the manufacturer that way. And it actually builds their case up to be a lot stronger if we do need to file a lawsuit. So for the most part, I think lemon law attorneys provide free consultations across the country because we are eligible to get attorneys' fees back because of the federal lemon law. So a lot of lemon law attorneys, they're like, call me, I will give you advice. Let's see if you have a case, because they can make money that way too.
Yeah.
But you are able to handle it on your own. To be honest, you can. It's just helpful to have that advice of, okay, you need to say these magic words, maybe wait until you get that 4th repair visit, double check the repair orders, they're not writing things down correctly, stuff like that. And for the most part, it is free of charge to consumers. So you really don't lose anything by, making that call. But when push comes to shove, and a lot of people, they ask for that buyback and the manufacturer says no, you do need a lemon law attorney at that point. So it is important to know that lemon law attorneys are out there. You can be represented. And for the most part, you're not going to have to pay out of pocket for the lemon law attorney. So it's pretty much a free service to consumers. And that's something that a lot of people don't know. I didn't know before I got into this either. So I just want, people to know we're out here to be a resource for you guys.
That's so helpful. So yeah, it works. Yeah. So I mean, in the case where you do a free consultation with a lemon law lawyer, and then for the most part, if they're willing to take on your case, if you win, you don't really owe them anything because they'll get the lawyer fees paid, right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Sounds like a win-win to me, Liz. What do you think?
Let's say someone has a lemon, it is deemed as a lemon. What happens next? So you kind of touched on how they're compensated, but what happens to the car?
Yeah, what does happen to the car?
So it gets titled as a lemon. So usually the manufacturers just resell it at auction, something like that, but it should have that lemon brand, and that does affect resale value. So consumers, they know that they're going to end up buying a lemon if they're in the market for one. But that's about it. You get your money back, and then it's, on to the next one.
Would you buy a car that was deemed a lemon?
No, absolutely.
Because you only get to claim lemon law one time, I'm guessing.
Well, no, I actually, surprisingly, I've got some repeat customers that have just been very unlucky.
No, I mean like on the car. Like if you buy a car that was marked lemon on the Carfax, like, and then you're having all these problems, you don't get to go back and be like, wait, it is a lemon.
Yeah, you usually sign away, your rights. You get your one shot, you get your money back, and if you're buying that car again, it's not a good look. So I wouldn't buy a lemon, especially because to be able to get to that point of being branded a lemon, there were probably at least 4 or more repair visits where the manufacturer couldn't fix it. So you're going to end up probably having those same problems. Mm-hmm. The value of the car, it's not really a good investment on that part. And it had substantial problems. It has to be something significant. So you're buying something that could potentially put you and your family at risk. So I don't think it's worth it.
What about, is there, and I mean, I hate this question as someone who gets, people ask me for car wrecks all the time, or ask me, about a car's reliability, but in your own opinion, is there any car brand that you would stay away from?
I see General Motors the most. So specifically, I see Chevy a lot, but they also do, tend to sell more vehicles than some of the other brands. So I'm not sure based on market share what the percentages are there, but just based on my practice, I do see General Motors, Chevy a lot, and I just see American manufacturers more than some of the other brands. So I feel really unpatriotic saying that, but I do tend to see, GM, I see Ford a lot. Those are my top 2, probably number 3. I see Jeeps, probably number 3 on that.
That's interesting.
That's some tea.
I wouldn't feel unpatriotic though, because I'll tell you, I have a lot of experience with some more of the Korean brands specifically, and some of the German brands, and a lot of those cars are made in the United States. So a lot of their parts are from here. So I don't feel unpatriotic. I think it's fine. I just think, and I'm with you. I mean, obviously you never know. I mean, obviously lemons don't mean to happen. So any car brand can have one. What would you say is like, I think this is my last question, unless Liz has one. what would you say is like, when do you feel like it's time to start taking action if you feel like you maybe have a lemon? Like you know, you're kind of mentioning like, okay, 4 repairs. So do you start preparing to reach out to a lawyer like around the 4th repair? Do you get ahead of it? Like, what would be your advice?
I would say around 3 repair visits would be a good time to reach out to an attorney, because especially looking at other states' lemon laws, some states require you to, send certified letters to the manufacturer and do all these notice things before that 4th repair visit. So I think just as a general rule, especially since we're talking across the United States, around 3 repair visits, it's probably, some red flags like they haven't been able to fix it yet. I might need some help here. Talk to an attorney, get a free consultation. And even before that, I would recommend keeping all of your repair orders and double checking them before you sign off on them when you accept your car back, because I have had so many potential clients call in, they send me their paperwork, and the problem they have said that they have had, 4 or 5 times is not listed on their ones. And so it's just, the sooner you talk to someone about that, the sooner you can correct that and build that paper trail up.
That's a really good point. That's great advice. Well, Michelle, Liz, do you have any final questions?
Yeah, well, I just have a question. I know you're based out of California and you handle California law. So if someone is watching this and they think they might have a lemon and they're in California, how can they get in contact with you?
So they can call my office directly. It's 714-804-5546. My website's also www.westcoastlemons.com, and I'm on pretty much every social media platform, but mostly Instagram. So check me out at West Coast Lemons. I love to educate and entertain, consumers. So follow along.
For sure. We will leave a link to find Michelle in the description box below. And Michelle, what about just as a kind of badass female entrepreneur, do you have any other tips or tricks there? I mean, you're a woman in probably a male dominated industry. So any tips or words of wisdom to share there?
Don't let the man get you down.
Don't let the man.
No, I think especially this generation of women, we are strong, we are empowered. And I think the community we've been able to build on social media, especially, we have this, community of hype women, across the country, across the world. So really lean into that. And I think we can all do each other a service. Just be honest. It's not always the highlight reel. Things aren't always perfect. Your career trajectory is not always up, up, up. So, be honest with each other, lift each other up, be transparent with that, celebrate the victories, and be there for each other with the failures. And I think we're going to do big things as a generation here. So I'm excited to see this.
Freaking love it.
I know. I'm sorry. I didn't know I was going to cry when we're talking about
I know. Wow. Well, Michelle, thank you so much. Everyone, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe to our channel, and we will see y'all next time.